Gisheru from Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
and
Thank you
I'm
for joining
happy
us
to be
today.
here.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for joining us today. It's going to be a special episode, holiday celebration we got going on here in the States. It is the winter season, so we have a lot of celebrations. You have Christmas, you have Hanukkah, you have winter solstice. Is another great one that I also partake in, but also Kwanzaa here in the United States of America. And within the States, there are multiple cultures, specifically in Black culture and African American culture, and our connection to the diaspora. We've done something special and we celebrate Kwanzaa. Have you ever heard of Kwanzaa?
No, I just heard it from you, and for me, Kwanzaa in Swahili means fast, like number
Mm-hmm.
one. So I didn't know what exactly you meant when you were saying Kwanzaa. Yeah, I've never heard of it, but I'm interested
Cool, awesome.
to
So,
get into
uh,
it because it
yeah,
sounds
so
Swahili.
yes, we're diving into it because it is Swahili. And so Kwanzaa was first celebrated as an African American culturally rich celebration and experience that we do the day after Christmas. And it's typically going into the new year from the 26th to the 1st of January. And so it's 7 days of just community celebration, home, family gatherings, communications, and a reaffirmation of a projection on principles that is aligned with the actual holiday. And I know you just celebrated a birthday on the 21st, so happy birthday to you, Marimu. Happy birthday, Sarah.
Thank you, thank you.
Right, so
So
in
I
the
think I would like to know, when did you start these celebrations?
Yeah, so this celebration goes back to 1966 with Dr. Karanga. Dr. Karanga is an African American during the civil rights movement when everybody was getting together, wanting to get together, being separated by division, by racial discourse, uh, discomfort, and us segregation. A lot of these times it was the time to come together as African Americans and throughout the diaspora. And what we wanted to do to show our resilience and show, well, he wanted to show the unity in which we need something to unify on. We need something. And this was one of the things he introduced to the people then started celebrating in 1966. It's been going on since then, and it's quite popular in pockets of uh I want to say forward-thinking communities or communities who we are typically it's a word, another Swahili word called the maafa. Have unajua the maafa?
Called
The
Maafa?
maafa.
Ah, okay.
You, you know what that word means,
I'm trying. Sometimes Swahili one word can mean more. The Maafa that I know might mean something different.
Right, well, this one
Is
means the
this
great
Maafa
disaster.
the one I'm? Oh yes, because Maafa is death. So I was
Correct.
afraid to say death because I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's
Right.
okay.
Exactly. So within the experience of African Americans and African in diaspora, they call it the Holocaust on when it comes to Jewish things. The other word that we call what happens to us and our people in the diaspora, we call it the Ma'afa, means the great disaster or the death, these things that we don't want to forget and moving forward. And so coming out of
Okay.
these experience, and the reason why we even say like black, like I'm black, you're black, even though you're from different nations, black just
Yeah.
means like we share a story, we share a connection, we share an experience. And
Yeah.
because even for myself, I had an issue where I would like say, I'm not black, I have I'm native or I'm African American or like I want to have a nation to attach myself to, not necessarily America, because the Ma'afa we've experienced here when it comes
Mm.
to the oppression and systematic
Yeah.
racism going through these spaces. So uh, Kwanzaa was created, in order to begin
Wow.
to change the narrative. We are able to have our own place of celebration. And with, from your perspective, do you have anything like
So I
any
would,
celebration that you may have
yeah, before I get to
during
the
the winter time?
celebration, I would like to say the name of that doctor. I say Dr.
Karanga or Karenga.
Karanga.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds more African, the name.
yeah,
It sounds
yeah,
like it sounds like someone from here for me when I hear the
right.
name. Because we
Right,
have
and he's from here.
Karanja, we have Karanga, like those names, we have them in Kenya. And also when I hear you speak words that are Swahili, Mafa, if I was there, I'd be like, when you say Mafa, I'm like, yeah, I know Mafa. It's death, but I was
Yeah,
afraid to say death. And maybe here in Kenya, or maybe most Africans here in Africa think that you guys, like the diaspora people, have no culture. Sorry to say. So we imagine
yeah.
maybe you follow the culture that you found there. I didn't know that
Mm,
there was something different for the Black Americans there, or African Americans. I thought maybe if it's Christmas, all of you celebrate the Christmas, Halloween. We don't have Halloween here. Yes, we do. We do have the Christmas, and all of us go home for Christmas. But basically, people just slaughter goats here. People eat meat over here. So Christmas is time to slaughter chicken, goats, and maybe cows. So people eat big.
mm,
But maybe this month we had the our celebration as Kenyans. That was on 12th December. We celebrated us getting independence from the white man, and that happened in
mm.
1963. Meaning 3 years later is when you guys had the celebration, the Kwanzaa. So it was like
Yeah,
3 years after Kenya got
yeah,
its own independence. So there's a lot of coincidence there. And
yeah.
I know we may not have we may not have the principles like you have outlined them, but when we sing our national anthem, I'm looking at whatever you send me on your principles that you celebrate this day. I can see umoja.
Mhm,
When we sing our
mhm.
national anthem, that's one of the principles we sing about. When I see imani, that's the faith. The unity and the
Yeah.
faith also is something we sing about. So
Mm,
basically, I can I can relate to these, and I'm so impressed to know that you guys have your own culture and your own days to celebrate yourselves.
mhm, mhm.
That's really awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's part of the division that we have that goes on here. I remember when I went, no, just like here in America, the elders would say, those who win the war, control the story. Like it was a joke that said, why do we know it's a story called Little Red Riding Hood, and it talks about her and the villain in the story is the wolf, the big bad wolf. And which is a joke that says, only
Mm-hmm.
reason we know her story is because that, she what was it? I dropped this. Only reason we know her story because she had a better publicist. And that deals to show like the
Mm-hmm.
media, who is controlling the media. We have a
Yeah.
strong uh, cultural ties for many of us to Africa, and it was even stronger in the 60s when these independents, like, and I think also was Baba uh, mm, Marcus Garvey.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs to the head, not the heart. Marcus Garvey is one of those who pushed Pan Africanism, and it was said that all the countries who have red, black, and green in their flag
Mm-hmm.
were all in shared relations and bonds, working together to free each other and liberate each other. So all the
Yeah.
countries who have, I wish I had a list of all those with red, black, and green in their flag, like Kenya, you'll
Yeah.
find the ties strongly to African Americans or the diaspora as a whole, because Marcus Garvey was Jamaican. And
Yeah.
so these they won't put this on CNN, they won't put this on like mainstream media because once we connect and once we unite, what is the percentage is 7% of the world is European. Most of the rest of the world is melanated, you know, and that seemed like such a small percentage of those, the whole globe. And so if these connections are made, it weakens the power that you have of influence of the minds of the people. And when it comes to Africa, most people think that, do they have houses over there? Do they have electricity? Do they have lights? They ask these silly questions. I promise you, you will find so many who will ask this question about Africa. And Africa, and then when I told them like Africa, you can fit 4 Americas inside of Africa. Like this if it was a puzzle,
Yes,
like
you
you can
can.
fit 4 there. You can fit it inside. And they're like,
Yes.
what? Then I have to do other no diagrams, analogies to get them to visualize it. But we have no visual identity of Africa a lot of places. So it's up to us with platforms and pages to share that knowledge and tell people realize that we come from an incredible people. We come from incredible nations. We are incredible people. We are the first, people on the planet. Our hair defies gravity. We're still the only people
Yes,
who
yes,
only
yes.
species that our hair grows up towards the sun.
Yes,
Kissed by the sun, we
yes,
say. And so that
yes.
type of pride needs to be instilled, and it should be taught in every school. Um, yeah, so that's the beauty of part of this celebration as we go forward.
Yeah.
So, like as you were saying, the
So I would
Ngoza
like to say
Saba.
something. I would like to say something before
Yeah.
you go forward. When I look at your shirt right now, it looks like my flag in Kenya. So when we say about our colors, yes, our colors speak about something. When I look at black, black is us. The black in the flag represent the people of Kenya because you're all black here. And then the
Yeah.
red signifies the blood that was shed when they were fighting for our independence. Remember, the white man came, you there's so many things that happen, and in a way, in a little bit of way, we still live, we still have the effects of those, of the segregation that was done here. And like people and land, land was in Africa, land was a communal thing. People are not buying land, like you would own land anywhere. But then when the white man came here, it was you have to buy land to live there. And they took all the good lands and then pushed Africans into the lands that were not very fertile. So what happened?
Mhm.
Some of those lands were taken after were taken by some powerful people who are left. And you feel there's freedom, yes, but we feel like those lands were for our grandparents or our great great grandparents. It was never given back. So some people
Mhm.
live as squatters, and maybe even today some are still squatters because affording land in Kenya is a little bit expensive. But I can say we have a lot of resources. Those people who are wondering, we have cars, we have electricity, we have a lot of resources. And I would say, having met different guests with you, we have at least visited almost 14 countries by having different guests online that can tell us about their experience and where they come from. You realize that every country have its own resources, and we are all one. And I love the
Mhm.
fact that at least I've met with people maybe from Congo. I'm like, it's true, Africa is very rich, and I feel like probably some resources from Africa help some countries grow. That's why maybe
Yeah.
right now they are very growing. It's because Africa is very rich with
Yes.
resources and with beautiful people with beautiful cultures.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I wanted
Indeed.
to say that.
Indeed. Yes. Please say it. I'm gonna need you to help me find my Kenyan wife over there somewhere. But you said, like you said, the
All right,
resources.
I'll do that.
The resources we have Africa is huge, as you said. And okay, remind me of this at the end of the conversation later. But they were talking about I just recently seen a show. They were talking about the merger of nations and two things. They have a international like African highway. They're projecting to basically circumnavigate to be around the whole continent. That's a huge thing to do, to have a highway, one highway that travels around the whole of that. And the other thing was they were merging nations. They were in talks of combining Tanzania, Kenya, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Who else? Who was not Somalia? But it was called like the Central African Republic or something like that. They're projecting to merge countries. I was like, what if you merge those countries together? It would what that would change. Oh my gosh! I'm like, okay, I got to get over that, and so it just made
Yeah.
me so excited.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you over here but so far we have the
Remind me, we're having conversation.
East Africa has, we even have an East African song. Once I think they made a deal, and even in our schools, whenever we are raising our flag, we have to sing the East African song. So East Africa is Kenya, Uganda,
Okay.
Tanzania. Because I don't need a passport to go to Uganda. I don't need a passport to go to Tanzania. Like they are our borders here. So I don't know if we'll get a time without having to go get a visa or get a passport.
Yeah.
I can just use my ID and you can say I'm from Kenya. And you're like, oh, welcome. You're an African like me. Yeah. Like I will be very happy when we get that. Yes.
Nice. Okay, that sounds amazing. I look forward. I'm so excited about that. And this shirt is also from Kenya. I had it made there when I lived there, and I'll be having a lot more things made. So stay tuned, family who's watching, for more dashikis. Hakuna Matata Unlimited is coming back. OneTribe is coming back with new clothing from designers from Kenya. So we share a screen. We have the Ngoza Saba, which means the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And these are the principles that are reaffirmed each day of the celebration. And of course, the first day of the celebration is unity. You light the unity candle. And this candle represents communal unity. And let me pull that out for you. Go ahead and pull it up. Give me one moment. So we celebrated, and we use this right now. It is Satisa. I forgot how to say 40. It's 9:43 in the AM. So no celebrations going on right now.
Arobaini. Right now it's Atisa. You have celebrations going on, or what did you say?
Right now, there's no celebrations at this time, like of the day. It will be later on in the day,
Okay.
and
Ah,
celebrated then.
okay. I think here is saa kumi na saa kumi na moja. Like it's
11.
5 o'clock here.
Right,
Yeah.
because go back here. All right. Slowly over here.
Back here, people are just chilled, waiting for the new year. we don't have major celebrations. I think we just follow because it's Christmas. I would say maybe it wasn't Christmas, then you wait for the year to go to the next year. Yeah.
I just want to let you know I forgot music. Chop this up. Let's go. Let's go. Sorry for the delay.
You found it?
I found it, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Una.
Yes, I can.
So, all right. So we have here the Ngoza Saba, the seven principles of Kwanzaa. And each day of the 7 days of celebration, we highlight one of these principles. And it usually becomes, I'll give an example from the last one we just had on the 26th. And we got together saying, usually pour libations from a chalice, the Kikombe unity, Kikombe umoja, or you would pour
Mhm,
the cup of unity,
mhm.
the chalice of unity, and we play games, we talk, and it's,
So
it's
you
just a
poured
family gathering.
libation.
Libations,
Okay. I'm
no,
asking you poured
Najua.
libation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So libation we pour for
Yes,
the
that was
ancestors.
an African thing. Let me tell you. Wow, because in Africa and in other cultures, everyone know if you were to drink beer, it was there. Like there was a session we did and we saw like we have the traditional traditional alcohol that people used to brew before they had
Yeah.
celebrations and before they took it, they had to pour libation. They had to pour libation. You drink and you are like you give some to your ancestors. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if now people, people are losing their cultures. By the way, sometime, yeah. I don't know people
Yes.
still
Yes.
pour libation, but I'm so proud that you guys did that. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We still hold again if you whenever you make it to the States, we go to the South Carolina, you got to come visit our school, and you will be so
Yes,
proud.
definitely.
Yeah, because it's an African-centered
I will
school,
come there.
and so libations are poured every day. We speak if you hear when you hear the
Mm-hmm.
the pledge that we have, to our
Mm-hmm.
ancestors, the oath we give to our ancestors, the children, to the elders.
Mm-hmm.
It would give you chills because the African spirit is still alive here within us,
Wow.
and this is one of the things that we do to uphold that. So yes, libations are poured. We give thanks to the ancestors. We sing songs to the ancestors. Um, because again, if it wasn't for them, there would be no us. And so we move forward with that
Wow.
knowledge. So
I'd like to come
unity.
and see that. I'll be so impressed. I swear.
Yes, 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 indeed. So yeah, umoja. So we had a card game. Me and my friends, we jumped and played cards. It's a game called Spades. If you're African American, you're black, you know about this game called Spades. It's a cultural card game, and we joke and say if you don't know Spades
Mhm.
as a black person, we take your black card in a sense. But it's like
Okay.
one of those things that we play, and
Okay.
so in the game we actually we not to get too deep into the game, but at the end of the game, after 2 hours, we still had like the same amount of points at the end of this 2 hour game. And they don't have to be 2 hours, but it just ended up being that way. And so we end up leaving on a tie. We're like, oh, that's in the spirit of unity because no one won, no one lost. We had time
Yeah.
together, we joked, we laughed, we drunk, and we left on a tie. So it was like, hey, that was in the spirit of unity, umoja that day. And so in those each day we usually find puns
Wow.
or
It sounds
just fun
interesting.
ways to
Mhm.
experience the next one. So the next one will be kuji chakalia. So the kuji chakalia will be self-determination, the next day of Kwanzaa, where we talk about business. We to define ourselves, our names, um, and create ourselves and speak life over ourselves. We speak into each other. Self determination, you can do it, Know that you can. Know who your ancestors
Mhm.
are. Know where you came from so you can know where you're going. So, going to the third day, Ujima. Ujima
Mhm.
is collective work and responsibilities. So, there might be a little play going on there to determine that. It's a story that we do called the Eagle and the Chicken, where it was
Mhm.
it's an eagle that was born, but he was raised with
Mhm.
chickens. And through you know the story.
I know, no, I'd like to hear.
Okay, okay. So briefly, the farmer who had chickens, and one day he found that an eagle's egg was in that happened to be in the nest. So he allowed it to raise it with the chickens. So being that it began to interact with the chickens, it thought it was a chicken. Even though it didn't know how it looked, there's no mirrors, no. So in their interactions, the farmer thought that it will get big and it would fly, because chickens here don't fly, especially the
Mhm.
domestic ones. And so he would
Mhm.
just, as it grew, he would try to get it to fly. He would try to get it to fly and like throw it in the air, and it would just plop down. And through
Mhm.
a series of events and scenes during the story, he he would still try and wonder why this eagle is not flying, because he's raised with chickens.
Chicken.
And so he believes
Wow.
he's a chicken. So, and it wasn't until he was left on his own volition and thrown from, I think, from thrown so many times and fell so many times. One day he looked up
Mhm.
and found and saw another eagle who looked like
Mhm.
him, had the same size, wingspan. And so that
Mhm.
enabled the eagle to believe that I can do this. Self-determination. I can push
Wow.
myself. Who am I? Do that deep reflection,
Mhm.
introspection on who I am before he then learns to fly and realize that he's not a chicken. He was just raised in that environment. So um, I got to send you a clip of that's how the story's really dialogued, because I know you are a thespian. Well, you love the fine arts
Yes,
and acting. So that'd be a good one
I do. I do.
to show. Yes.
Okay.
Next one would be
I would love that.
cooperative economics.
Okay.
That's, I believe, today is ujema or jama. And
Mhm.
how the greeting for each day, you would say, when you would see somebody that day during the celebration, you would say, Habari gani? And then your response would be ujema or
Oh.
umoja or kujichagalia, nia or kuumba. And it would show you like what's going on today. Well, today is today's celebration of Kwanzaa. Mhm.
Mhm.
So the next one would
Wow.
be nia, and nia is purpose, things that we do. So no, I missed the other one. So the other one was Ujama, which is we talk about, usually have vendors there, where you have black-owned businesses there, and you're shopping with each other, to show the group economics that we need to sustain ourselves in our communities before we can go anywhere. We can't go anywhere if we're not spending money with each other. We're not sharing resources. We're not sharing intellectual properties. We're not sharing our money with each other and our profits together. So even if you work
Mm.
outside of the community, you still want to spend that
Mhm.
money in your community. And it was a statistic that went, I think it's like Chinese money like stays in their community. I forgot how many
Mhm.
times exactly, but it is spent within the community several times. I think up was like 42, or maybe I think they said like 12 days that money will stay, back and forth, in the communities from different businesses. Jewish also had a higher number. Um, but black people and African Americans, it was like
Mhm.
16 seconds or something like that. It was something crazy. On average, our money
Oh.
goes out of our community so
Mhm.
quickly. And
Mhm.
it's no way to sustain a community or create a nation, create a community if you don't have the money in your community. And that was one of the things we highlight
Yeah.
specifically on Ujema, spend with each other.
Mhm.
Uh, Nia will be purpose, and the collective vocation for building and developing our community to, in order to restore our peoples and their traditions of greatness. So remembering your purpose. So there may be poems going on that day, spoken word going on that day, to just
Mhm.
to reinvigorate one's purpose on that day.
Mhm.
The next day would be creativity, kaumba. Of course, they'd be dancing really on each and every day, but that day would definitely be creative um, times that we get to share when it comes to our works.
Mhm.
So, in order to leave our community more beautiful, more beneficial, it might be a community cleanup that day, or a number of different things. Is how the beautiful thing about these Kwanzaa, I love, is like we do it in our own way. Your household may do it different than my household, but we're celebrating in the same principles, in community engagement, community prosperity. And the last one would be faith, to believe with our hearts in our people and our
Wow.
parents, our teachers, our leaders, and in righteousness and victory of our struggle. So this is something that we celebrate. We really take to heart when you go to these celebrations or Kwanzaa celebrations. It's very fun. The kids are there, the elders are there, music is there, food is there, beautiful garments and clothing. Everybody's dressed up. It's
Wow.
pretty awesome when we get to experience. But
Everyone is dressed up in their traditional attire, or do you like dress up?
yeah, we dress up. We have a good
Oh
time.
wow.
So so you might be so on the shots here, but you would come in whatever attire that you feel is Kwanzaa ready. You might be dressed up in your boo-boos, your
Wow.
things, and you have the kanari
Mm-hmm.
there. You pour libations, and
Mm-hmm.
dancing will be another day. When you celebrate at a table, you usually have fresh fruit there, and fruit represents Kwanzaa. We would say represents the first harvest. So going into
Wow.
this next out of this
Mm-hmm.
winter season, we'll be celebrating the fruits, the fresh fruits, which is from the seeds that we planted, going forward into the next cycle of the year. So any
Wow.
other reflections that you may have or resemblance you may see in some of this?
Like I'm so impressed. I don't know what to say. I feel like when I'm hearing you speak and like you guys are so intentional about what you're doing in that day. I feel like I don't know why don't have such a thing. I feel like why don't we have such? Because yes,
Right, right.
we have we I can say, and sometimes I feel most of us in Africa, we want so much to be like the Western world. Sorry to say. But yes, we celebrate celebrations like for our country. Like I said, we have celebrations, I don't know, to celebrate. We have a day to plant trees. We have the day to celebrate our Mashujas. Mashuja means our heroes that fell when they were fighting for our nation. But now, when I come down to our culture, yes, I told you we have some, and I told you the ones that people do mostly weddings and circumcision are taken seriously. Like now, because most kids finish school, I am very sure some of them are going through circumcision. But to have such a celebration, very intentional. There's music, you are living for something. It's very impressive. And maybe some of when I looked at the name of Dr. You said Dr. Maulana. The name Maulana is a
Muranga.
Swahili word. Yes, I think I've seen down
That's
there the document is Maulana Muranga. So Maulana means God.
yeah.
The Swahili word meaning God. And I
Ah.
think this was so nice. Yes, the names resemble. We try sometime to live by them. For us, the symbol of unity will be our flag, the people, the color, and
Mhm.
the language we speak. But my son is here. So
Maybe we talk to.
yes. So I am so impressed and I'm shocked. I don't know. Should I say I'm shocked because words? Like I'm so happy to know there is such a thing, and I would like one day to be there and experience it. And if we put this online, and if there are Kenyans watching me, like I don't know, do we have such a thing
Yeah,
really? Like we should get back to that. We usually think that maybe the
yeah, I
diaspora
see.
people don't have culture, and shocking enough, we
Yeah.
are the one who they are pouring libation. Do we even pour libation at times? Okay.
Right,
Do
right,
we?
right. Yeah, yeah,
So
so
I think I am so
right.
impressed. I love that the language is the same. Like we are using Swahili, yes. So I understand everything you're saying. And I would like to be there to sorry, just a moment. I would like to be there to be happy if it's
Mhm,
dancing, if it's wearing my traditional attire. I have seen your photo there and I'm so
mhm,
impressed. So we have, yes, maybe when it comes to words, but
mhm,
I wouldn't say we have a very intentional cultural day like you guys have, unfortunately.
mhm.
But
I love that.
I'm hoping,
I like that
yeah,
we can share that the Day of
yeah,
Heroes that you mentioned. When is that?
yes, 12th December, Mashujaa
The
Day.
12th. Also, it's in
Yeah.
Independence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I think I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
We don't have a
But
day of heroes that we. It's crazy that okay, I might go into another space, but knowing who your enemy is, like that is a big issue. Like knowing who the enemy is, knowing who, so a lot of people think if they don't know their heroes because they don't know what they fought or even believe in what they fought for, and that whole thing that they don't know. So celebrating, some people celebrate Martin Luther King, but they don't celebrate Marcus Garvey, or they don't celebrate Malcolm X, these revolutionaries who really fought, for the freedom. So I love that. That's a great idea. I might have to, yeah, do something like that too. Also, so the name, typically, a lot of African Americans like myself who went to school in Africa or went to school in different parts of the diaspora and just fell in love there or want to embrace their roots, we change our names. Like I adorned myself with Haru, and I was given the name Onyango by
Mhm.
my little family there in Kenya when I was adopted, and so they gave me Onyango. So
Mhm.
I go by Curtis Onyango Heru, and with my last name I was born
Mhm.
a Boyd, Boyd, and so Kenya Curtis Onyango Heru Boyd. Yeah, I really embrace that because it kind of tells my story. So you'll find a lot
Yeah.
of name changes when it comes to African Americans embracing the culture of the diaspora.
Oh, that's really nice. Although anything, something else I would add is that for us, we have Kiswahili language. The Swahili language is really a language that helps us stay in unity and helps
Mhm.
us understand each other. Because, like I had told you before, we have 42 tribes in Kenya, meaning everyone has their own native language. So if we were all to speak in our native language, we would not hear each other. So we try to use Swahili so that we don't segregate people by the tribe, because something we Africans struggle with back here is tribalism.
Mm, mhm. Yeah,
There's some tribes maybe feel superior than others. We had the clashes 207. It was very bad. Like it was like the Mafa you were saying. Yeah, people would take machete and go to the next neighbor. You are like, you are not from my tribe, so you don't belong here. So
yikes.
Swahili really helps us, remove remove those, like I am a Kikuyu, so I'm speaking Kikuyu. But I feel also we don't have to lose all our culture because we're afraid maybe to think if you introduce yourself as Onyango, I would be like you're a Luo, yeah. And I don't like Luos. We are supposed to celebrate each other, and I'm hoping us using Swahili language is one of the language that has brought us together. We have tried though with the schools to make sure we don't lose our tradition. So I think I've
Mm.
ever told you we have something called music festivals. So it
Ah,
happens every year, and it's done from people from sing our traditional songs. So the kids that are going to present their school have to wear those traditional attires and dance like the way it
yeah.
was done that time. So, and also we have drama festivals. Also, those ones we try to bring out, our culture in schools.
Mm.
So it's a good thing, but I
Mhm.
feel the same should be extended, after school. I just know them and I enjoy them a lot. Actually, I told you I participate in them a lot. I have to take my students for music or drama festival because I want them to experience the different cultures that are there in Kenya because they are beautiful. So I feel like
Yeah,
it should also be extended to us.
yeah,
Even if you are done with school, is there a day like you guys have? We can just go out and celebrate our culture. Let people sing, let people dance, you know, yeah, and celebrate our differences.
yeah, yeah, yes. That's gonna be
Yeah.
we'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there soon. I would do everything want to make that. Um, I know I went to one we had at Kenyatta University. We have culture night or culture week that we had at
Oh
that
yeah,
used to be.
university it has. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
culture week.
I
Yeah.
loved it, loved it, loved it. I performed there. I mean, I loved everything. So
Wow.
I'm looking forward to going there and even bringing a group to Kenya to really express these things. And we'll it's a lot to go. Let's
Yeah,
continue to
yeah.
build the diaspora by sharing cultures like this, and then being physical participants in the celebrations of each other. And so, looking forward to continue to share with you and build with our diaspora. Thank you for joining me today on today's podcast on Kwanzaa and Swahili culture, Kenya, by our awesome Swahili teacher, Mwalimu Sarah, who's from Kikuyu land. We thank you for joining us today. Any last words?
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. And I can't wait for this thing to go big because we also need it here in Kenya. As you're saying, you bring people here to experience. And I feel most of those, we have forgotten a little bit about cultures. Will be very impressed. And yeah, and then great. And I'm so happy to have been here. I've learned a lot today. Like I'm so impressed. He just made my 2024 year better as it is ending. Yeah. Yes.
Nice. So talk to you soon, Malibu. Tuanane
Thank
badai.
you.
Everyone, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.